I did not enjoy Oden as a character. I think he started off as likeable, but this opinion quickly plummeted as the story evolved. I don't think he deserves any respect in all honesty, and I'll tell you why. Before I do, let's explore this philosophical concept called the golden mean. Within Aristotle's virtue ethic, he propounds a theory known as the golden mean. In short, the main point is that balance is key, the perfect point right in between deficiency and excess. A virtue becomes a vice when it subverts this balance. For example, having a deficiency in trust leads to suspicion and cynicism, but being too trusting leads to being gullible and blind in faith. And I think this explains Oden very well. Oden's flaw wasn't that he trusted people, it was that he trusted excessively. His inability to discriminate between the trustworthy and the untrustworthy transformed an otherwise admirable character trait into a vice. His excess trust ultimately endangered not only himself, but the very people he sought to protect. Now that we've established that principle, let's delve into Oden's story and his mistakes. So Oden grew up in Wano, and he felt trapped being the daimyo. And I understand this as a huge responsibility, and he wanted to leave the country and explore. I don't blame him for that, and I understand. I think the country was in a stable state when he left, so you can't criticize him there. But the issue is when he returned to Wano with Roger to collect the road poneglyph. Because his retainers tried to tell him something. Oden, a lot has changed in Wano. Toki did stop them, and she told them if they truly cared about Oden, they would allow him to finish his journey. But I think Oden was very aware that something had changed in Wano. It's clear from his face being shaded. He saw the smoke rising across Wano. He saw the factories, and in that moment, he clearly understood that the country he loved had changed. But he had a choice. He could have stayed, listened to his retainers, and found out exactly what had happened. But instead, he turned around and continued his adventure and abandoned his retainers and his people. And now this is what annoys me, because I thought surely Oden would be one to understand how oppression feels. It's a core element of his character that he felt restricted and oppressed within Wano. He was constantly gazing upon the seas as he thought about the liberty of being a pirate and the thrills of adventure. Yet when he saw the people of his country being oppressed, when he saw his country being destroyed before his eyes, he selfishly pursued his dream and let the situation exacerbate, when he could have easily quelled Kaido's forces at that moment in time. However, let's give Oden the benefit of doubt in the circumstances, because I know a lot of people say that, Roger's journey was time limited and it was once in a lifetime opportunity. It's a fair argument, and it was indeed a once in a lifetime opportunity. So, for the sake of argument, let's say him leaving in that moment was justified. I do think it's a hard argument to justify, but let's say it was. But then the issue is that Oden made another terrible mistake. When he finally returned to Wano and heard the damage that Orochi and Kaido had caused, he was set on ridding the country of this poison, and he went to confront Orochi. But instead of killing him on the spot or imprisoning him, he trusted his words that if he danced for years, Orochi would leave the country with no harm to the people. And I just think it was foolish for him to trust a man who's shown his true nature. Someone who's ravaged your country. Many people have already died. There's pollution everywhere. But he danced and danced for years. Meanwhile, his people continue to be oppressed. They continue to suffer under this tyrannical regime. Okay, now let's argue that Oden was worried about hostages and bloodshed, which is understandable. But let's think about it like this. Consider the amount of people that would have died over the years that Oden was dancing, from being in labor camps, starving, or purely from Orochi and Kaido just killing for minuscule reasons. Oh, the food wasn't cooked properly. Bang! That's how they are. Now weigh that against the amount of people that would have died if Oden fought them straight away. I think it works out as tantamount, or even less, bodies. Now I really don't think we can justify Oden's actions here. I think it's a vice for him to be so trusting of a man like Orochi. And during this time while he danced, Orochi and Kaido grew from strength to strength. He was dancing while his enemy was reinforcing their troops and their strength, which would ultimately make his battle harder at the end. And when he confronted Kaido with his retainers, they fought an amazing battle. And this was the Oden that I admired, confronting those that oppress his people so he can liberate them, putting his overwhelming strength on display and demonstrating why he stands at the zenith of the One Piece world, in the same class as great pirates like Roger, Whitebeard, and so forth. But I do admit Oden's loss was unfortunate due to factors outside of his control. If that witch wasn't there, I think he surely would have been triumphant against Kaido, but this wasn't the case. In the end, he died a fool, because he made another mistake, another one. When it was his execution, he tried to make another deal, another deal with Kaido and Orochi, even though they previously reneged on all of their promises. He said, oh, if I survive burning for X amount in this pot, then you'll let me free, or whatever he said. And he just ended up being shot in the head in the end. And again, this was just foolish. So I think Oden's biggest mistake was attempting to negotiate with pirates. I think he spent too much time around pirates like Roger and Whitebeard. These were men with morals, and Oden was a man with morals. I think he had his own morals, and he kind of thought that would apply to other people, but that is not the case. I think these kind of pirates, Kaido and Orochi, they're savages. They pillage and seek to assert their will over others, not caring about the ramifications of that. When you look at pirates in the past, like Sir Walter Raleigh, Sir Francis Drake, they were pillagers, savages that would torture, steal, and so forth, and I don't think they were people that could be trusted. Oden was too trusting, in excess, to the point where it became a vice, and I think he was selfish. And this is why I think Oden was a fool, and he was not a good character that should be respected. So this is a new channel. I'm going to create more video essays like this with controversial opinions. So it would be great if you could subscribe and comment your views. Let me know if you disagree with my opinion or if you agree. And if my argument's flawed, comment. I'd be interested to hear. Thank you. Peace out.